All right, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about something really powerful, a real, practical way to turn a Nigerian salary into a path to serious wealth. We're not talking about luck or some get-rich-quick scheme. No, this is all about strategy, about discipline, and about having a clear plan.
Okay, let's just put this on the table right away. It's a hard truth, but we need to face it head on. Your salary, by itself, is probably not going to make you a millionaire. It's a tough pill to swallow, I know. But stick with me because that's just the starting point, not the end of the story.
And this is the big idea, the total game changer. While that salary won't just make you rich, it's the most powerful tool you have to build yourself into a millionaire. See the difference? It's not about how much you're earning right now. It's about what you do with it. So, the big question is, how? How do we do that? Well, it all kicks off with a massive shift in how you think. We have to completely change the way we look at our income. It's not just money for bills and enjoyment. It's the raw material for building your future.
You really got to get this distinction. Your salary isn't the wealth itself. It's the tool. It's your starting capital. Think of your salary as a pile of bricks. Wealth is the house you build with those bricks. So the mission, your number one goal, is to use that salary, those bricks, to buy assets that go to work for you.
Okay, so we've got the mindset. Now let's talk about the how. How do we put this into action? We need a map, and that's exactly what this next part is. A clear step-by-step guide for every decade of your life, no matter where you're starting from today.
So here's the entire journey, just at a glance. We're going to break it down into 4 key stages. And I want you to notice how the focus changes over time, right? We go from building your foundation to building your assets, then accelerating that growth, and finally protecting it all. This gives you a clear goal for every season of your life.
First up, your 20s? Listen, this decade is not about getting rich. Forget about that for now. This is all about laying a solid foundation. Your entire goal is to build up your ability to earn more and to handle money smartly for the rest of your life. So what do you actually do? 3 crucial things. Number 1, invest in yourself. Get new skills, take courses, become more valuable. Number 2, live below your means. I mean it. Avoid consumer debt like it's the plague. And third, start investing, even if it's just a tiny amount. The goal here isn't to hit a jackpot, it's to get in the game and learn how it's played.
Now, if you do this right, by the time you hit 30, you won't be a millionaire, but you'll have something so much more valuable. You'll have a career that's on a high-growth path, and you'll have the automatic, unconscious habit of saving and investing. You've basically built the engine.
Okay, the engine is built. Now it's time to fire it up and see what it can do. In your 30s, the whole game shifts. We're moving from just earning to actively owning. It's time to build your asset and income machine.
During this decade, your mission is to get at least one more source of income going. You cannot be dependent on just one paycheck. Then you move from just randomly buying things to structured investing. That means systematically putting money into funds, co-ops, maybe even your first property. And critically, you protect yourself. Build a 6-month emergency fund. Think of it as your financial shock absorber. The result of all this by age 40? It's incredible. You're no longer totally reliant on your job. You have a real, growing portfolio of assets, and let me tell you, that brings a kind of peace of mind that's hard to describe. That constant, nagging money stress, it just starts to fade away. And now we hit the acceleration phase. Your 40s and early 50s, this is where the magic really starts to happen. All those years of being disciplined, all that consistency, it starts to compound. That little snowball you started rolling is about to become an avalanche of net worth. So now it's time to get aggressive. You should be aiming to pour 25 to 40% of everything you earn directly into assets. You start focusing on bigger moves, like income-producing real estate or a scalable side business, and you get really smart about your costs, choosing future freedom over trying to keep up with your neighbors. By the time you're 55, the picture is totally different. You've got this stable base of assets that are kicking off cash whether you go to work or not. And that fear of retirement, it's gone, replaced by this quiet, solid confidence. You can actually see the finish line. And that brings us to the final stage. The game is no longer about chasing aggressive growth. Not at all. Now it's about protecting what you've built, making sure it generates a steady income, and thinking about the legacy you're going to leave behind. The moves here are all about de-risking. You pull back from those high-risk, speculative plays because, let's be honest, you've already won the game.
You shift your focus to assets that produce predictable, boring, reliable income, the kind that pays the bills when you're retired. And you start getting serious about estate planning, making sure the wealth you built can last for generations.
And what is the ultimate reward for this whole journey? True financial independence. The power to retire with dignity, without ever having to be a burden on anyone. And the opportunity to create a legacy that impacts people long after you're gone. You know, a lot of people have this deep, nagging anxiety about being poor when they're older, and that fear is real. But you have a choice. You can let that fear paralyze you so you do nothing, or you can channel it into planning. And planning leads to action, it leads to stability, and ultimately, it leads to dignity.
Because here's the bottom line. True wealth is never, ever an accident. It is the direct result of thinking long-term, taking those small, disciplined actions over and over again, and having the strategic patience to let it all grow. The biggest financial risk you face isn't having a low income, it's having no plan.
So, if you're in your 20s right now, please listen to me. Time is your superpower. It is the single most valuable asset you will ever own. Use it deliberately. If you're in your 30s, this is it. This is your decision decade. The direction you set for yourself in the next few years will probably determine whether you hit your 50s with confidence or with a whole lot of regret. Choose wisely.
And hey, if you're in your 40s or older, I want to be clear, you are not late. You're simply at the stage where intense focus and decisive action matter more than anything else. Your experience is your advantage. It's time to use it.
You see, this whole roadmap really boils down to one simple truth. Your financial future, your retirement, it isn't going to be decided by some big event years from now. It's decided by the small, intentional things you do today. So I'll just leave you with this one question. What is your next action going to be?